I owned a secondhand store in Pennacook, New Hampshire, and used to bring my white lab mix with me to work. She was sweet and loved everyone. I used to take in consignments here and there. An elderly gentleman came into my store and asked if I would be willing to have an antique spinning wheel that his deceased wife bought at auction from a warehouse in town that was being renovated years before. I agreed. He returned about a week later with the spinning wheel and set it up in the front of the store where you could see it from the large front windows. My store was in a mini mall, sandwiched between a Subway and a hairdresser, so there was all kinds of traffic in front of my store day and night until Subway closed. It was probably a few weeks later, and I unlocked the store door and walked in to turn off the alarm. My dog walked in and stopped in front of the spinning wheel. She looked at it, cocking her head from side to side, then wagged her tail. I noticed and watched her. Suddenly, the spinning wheel started to move. I did not think that much of it at first, because I figured that it was the wind from the door coming in. I called for my dog so I could get her in the back room. It was an uneventful day until one of the employees came into my store in the late afternoon. I knew her from ordering my subs, and we waved to each other when she went on duty. She asked me if I had AC on last night. I did not. It was the start of autumn, and there should not have been any circulation of air in the store. I asked why. She told me that a customer came in and asked if my store was haunted. I thought that was odd. She said the customer saw a lady sitting at the spinning wheel, and the wheel was moving fast, as if it was spinning yarn. The Subway employee just chuckled when she told me this and said she did not want to be late for her shift and left. I chuckled to myself and went about my business. To be honest, I was thinking that it would not be surprising since my store was made up of pre-owned items. Time went by and I completely forgot about the conversation until the next morning. I went into the store as usual, and my dog stopped at the spinning wheel, and again, the wheel started spinning. It was kind of comforting knowing that a woman was still attached to her beloved spinning wheel, but that comfort was short-lived. I had a busy week of going out and purchasing new items for my store, and did not pay any attention to really anything but buying, selling, and rearranging the store for the new items. I needed to finish up some paperwork and the displays, so I came back to work after my son was asleep to finish. That is when odd things started happening. Both of the stores on each side of me were closed, and no one but my car was in the parking lot. I walked into the door located on the loading dock when I heard it. It sounded as if there were a room full of people chatting and laughing. I crept into the showroom and the noise stopped. I thought maybe someone was at the hairdresser or Subway and disregarded it. I proceeded to the office, and the evening security lights were plenty to see by, so I never turned on the full lights in the store. I sat down at the desk and started to pull out the files when it happened again. My office could see into the showroom, and there was no one in there. I got up and walked into the showroom. It was happening all around me. It was loud, but joyful. It was like different entities that were attached to the second-hand items were having a party. It was more funny than scary. There was a knock at the loading dock door. The merriment ended. I went to answer the door, and it was a friend delivering a desk that I had purchased from a flea market a few days prior. I helped him bring it in and had the perfect spot for it. We moved a few things around, and I placed it with an old repurposed chair that I picked up at a garage sale a few months back. I had been waiting for the best piece to pair it with. I walked my friend out, and we talked for a while at his truck about a flea market I wanted to visit and needed an extra pair of hands that I would pay him for his time. I entered the store, and it was eerily quiet. The chair was not in the same place at the desk. I thought I forgot to put it at the desk. Shaking my head, and mumbled that I must be tired. I put the chair back and headed to the office. No sooner than I sat down, I heard something fall. I went into the showroom and the chair was knocked over and a bit away from the desk. Then I heard it. It started low, and I had to strain my ears to hear it, but it sounded like an argument. I could not make out the words, but it was a male's voice, and another male's voice. Then it got louder and louder. I grabbed the chair to pick it up when the roll top of the desk slammed down. I was in shock. I told myself to be calm. I grabbed the chair, put it back where it was originally, and went into the back room. I found another chair, and this is weird, but I asked it nicely if it would mind being paired up with the desk. Hoping it was fine, I proceeded back to the desk. I said to the desk if it would mind if I paired this chair with it. Nothing. So I slowly put the chair up to the desk and backed away. Nothing. I decided it was too late to work on paperwork and left the store. After that, it changed how I approached the pairings in the store. A few nights ago, my two buddies and I were hanging out as we usually do late on a Friday night, like most teenagers. We have this road near our town that leads to a military base gate. A right turn from the gate leads through a large section of woods and eventually back into town. The whole area is surrounded by woods for at least a few miles. It's common for people to street race down this road at night, as it has all kinds of fun twists and turns and is far from anyone. My friends and I often go there to drive fast and goof around with our cars. Anyway, we were all hanging out, listening to music, and driving toward the road. We made the turn past the abandoned church onto the short road leading to the military base gate. My friend picked up some speed going up to the gate, and we turned onto the dark, wooded road, going fast but not too fast yet in case of any cops that sometimes hang around the area. We made it to the end of the road and made a quick U-turn to go back the same way we came, only this time going a little faster through the quiet, dark woods, carving through the corners swiftly. We got back to the gate, and my friend made the turn back down toward the abandoned church, picking up speed as we went down the hill. Right as we reached the bottom of the hill, we all heard something that sounded like a stick hitting the side of the car with a fairly hard thud. My friend hit the brakes and slowed down to about 20 miles per hour. We all started asking questions about what had just happened. I, being the only one who didn't actually see what happened from the back driver's side seat, thought we had just hit a branch, kicking it up off the ground and making it hit the side of the car. My friends quickly reassured me that they both didn't see a branch in the road, and both saw it come from the woods, hitting the driver's side quarter panel and window as if it was thrown at us. We concluded that it was probably someone walking down the road for some reason that we didn't see, and who was pissed at us for speeding by them. We turned around at the end of the short road to see if that was true, and then we noticed another car coming our way. They were passing the same spot we were when we collided with the branch. The car obviously slowed down when passing that spot, and then sped back up again before passing us. It was a little weird. We got all the way back up to the gate, and we didn't see anyone walking, nor did we see a single branch in the road. I told my friend to loop back around and go really slow past where the branch was thrown at us. As we passed the spot, I saw a clearing in the bushes. I wasn't really sure what the clearing was for, but it looked like the opening to an old service road that had since been overgrown by these invasive, bamboo-like bushes. I started to point out the spot to my friends, and as I did, I saw something in the opening. I only saw it for a brief second, as the car's headlights were now too far past to light the figure up. But I know for a fact I saw something pale and kind of gray-looking sitting in that tiny opening. I froze after seeing it and didn't know what to tell my friends. It was almost ironic that I actually saw something, because moments before, I had been thinking about tricking my buddies into thinking I saw something and freaking them out. But that joke kind of turned into reality. I didn't see enough of it to determine if it was a person, animal, or anything even alive, for that matter. But I know it wasn't just the bushes or a tree trunk. There was something in that clearing. I told my friends I saw something, and we looped around one last time. This time, my friend positioned the car to face the opening so we could get a clear view in there. Of course, whatever I saw was gone. There was nothing but a space, no bigger than a car, and thick brush all around it. They still believed me though, and we hightailed it out of there. We got to my friend's house and got out to inspect the car for dents or scratches. And sure enough, it had one fairly noticeable dent, with a couple of tiny paint chips and a few good scratches. My friend's car is kind of a POS, so no real loss there. He didn't really care. We came to the conclusion that it was just some kids messing around, even though it didn't really make sense, because there were no cars parked anywhere on the side of the road, or houses close enough to justify walking there. Also, it was 1 a.m., so who would be out there? Even our original thought of someone walking there was kind of a stretch of our logic. Looking back, what I saw kind of looked like someone or something's shoulder briefly getting caught by the light. But who knows? Maybe it was a ghost who haunts the road at night and was finally getting its revenge for us tearing up and down its road with our obnoxious cars. Or a skinwalker playing a little trick on us. Or just a stupid coincidence and our eyes all playing tricks on us.